Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you are when you're listening to this and so on and so forth. Gonzo, good evening to yourself. It's definitely evening for me and you. So good evening. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you, my friend. Hope you're well. Evening for us, morning for Neil down under there, 6 a.m. in the morning. Bless him. Sucker for punishment, obviously. Keep him well, mate.
Yeah, I can't complain too much actually. I'm enjoying the festive period's gone now, isn't it? It's like normality has resumed again a little bit, and I think I'm enjoying that. Everything's just normal. When you go out in the morning, there's traffic again and stuff. It's just normalities. But do you know what I mean?
Missed the traffic. No, I do. When the roads are deserted, it is a bit weird, isn't it? I know what you mean.
It is a bit strange. You're just wandering about, and it's just like a ghost town, and it's like 10 a.m. in the morning on a Thursday and stuff. You're thinking, what's going on? It's a bit weird. So things are back, and the construction sites are back in. So there's plenty of noise being made during the day and stuff like that. The bin men came today, which isn't something I normally get excited about, but it's the first time they've been in 3 weeks. So that was like an event because you had to put your bin out with, and you were allowed additional bags out there as well. So the whole street had like a mountain of black bags out there. And
so what do you expect? I've only been here once all year.
So anyway, right, transfer window's open. We've been ages since we've done a cup of tea. But do you remember years gone by when I did a cup of tea? We had somebody called Sam, and he used to ask a question every week, and his question was, out of 10, how much are you worried about the transfer window?
Yeah, he did.
So
are you not really asking me to rate the transfer window out of 10? Oh, it's a 10 so far, Geo. It's a 10 so far. We've been linked with everyone.
Yeah, how are you feeling about it? You all right? You okay so far?
I am positive, mate. I'm positive. I feel the risk of repeating myself. I felt positive in the last window. I know we left it a little bit late. But I thought we did. I thought it was an okay window, really. I thought, the players that were brought in, particularly Zuma, was a marquee signing, was a statement signing. And I just don't. I find it. You have to get very conspiratorial to think you've brought in a director of recruitment and a new owner, new co-owner, and nothing is going to happen. Clearly, I think we're going to bring some players in. I'm excited for it. You'd have to know nothing about football not to see the areas of the pitch where West Ham needs strengthening. So I think we're going to strengthen in 2 or 3 of those areas. I'm really looking forward to it, mate.
What are you hoping? What are you hoping for? Like, what's your wishes for the January transfer window?
I want a striker to put pressure on Antonio. That would be my first number one target. I don't want to go through. I don't think we'll get one, but you asked me what, if there was one wish list. If there was just one, I know it's not what you asked, but if there was just one, it would be the striker. I want Antonio, when he's not playing, to feel that he's going to lose his place. When he's on with Jamaica, when he's out with Jamaica, I want him to think, not to punish him or anything like that, but I want him to think, when I get back, I'm not sure that shirt's still mine, I think that's really, really important. That being said, Gio, I mean, you can't be blind to the fact that we do ship a few goals, and I'm sure we need something to get sorted there. So a little bit of strength in depth there wouldn't go amiss either, mate.
Yeah, I'm similar. A striker, sort of like a stopgap for centre back, really. Whether that's a cheap guy that eventually, like next season, he's almost third, fourth choice centre back, but he's potentially good enough to be the first choice centre back at West Ham, almost like a Craig Dawson, if you like, somebody that can fill in, just to give us a little bit of options at centre back, because the two we've got at the minute, I don't think are playing particularly well, but there's no real alternatives to them. So I'd like to see alternatives to Dawson and Diop. But also left back as well. I say a left back. I want Lucas Dean. I don't think we'll get him, but I've just got my heart set on him.
Tell us about him. Why do you like him? Tell us the qualities he's got.
I think he's perfect for the way we play football. As a left back, can also play left wing back as well. And he's probably one of the most similar left backs to Aaron Cresswell in the Premier League. It's just a like for like. Now he's only 2-3 years younger. Cresswell's 32. I think Dean's 28, 29. So there's not much between them in terms of age, but he's good enough to replace Aaron Cresswell. He's good enough to put Cresswell on the bench, which isn't an easy thing to do. There's not many left backs in the Premier League that'd say, let's bring him in, put Cresswell on the bench. But what it does do is just gives us the option to switch to 3 at the back if we want to, and put Cresswell at left centre back and Dean left wing back. I think also allows you to get rid of Masuaku, really, doesn't it? It allows you to say, like, let's just get him out the door kind of thing. I think Dean would be, he'd solve, I say solve, we don't really have a left back issue, but what it does do, then it also gives Ben Johnson a position, which is right back, because at the minute he sort of flip-flops between the two, and he's sort of second choice right back and second choice left back at the minute, which is not a bad thing, especially when you're someone that age. You'll almost take any experience you can get, and you'll take any game time and stuff. But we've also seen him right centre back, Ben Johnson, and I thought he looked all right there. So again, if you had Lucas Dean and Creswell wasn't back yet, you could put Johnson in beside Dawson and Diop at right centre back for games and stuff. I just think the Dean one, there's a domino effect here, which is, I think, it opens up a whole range of opportunities for David Moyes as to what to do. And I think we're struggling defensively a little bit. I think, but also the thing with Creswell is he might be back soon. We don't know. We were told he'd be back before Christmas. He's still not back yet. But also, we don't know what he's going to be like when he comes back. It's a nasty injury he's got, chip in his or whatever it is he's done something to his spine, and it's kept him out for this long. And I think if we expect him back prior to Christmas, he's still not back, there's something going wrong with Aaron Creswell. It's not good. It's quite worrying, actually. So I'd almost like to get someone in that if Creswell's come back and get injured again, or was to pull up again, it's all right. We've sorted it in January. We've seen it. And I just think Lucas Dean's a unique opportunity to get him, because if he hadn't fallen out with Rafa Benitez, we wouldn't be able to get him. So
yeah, absolutely. Yes, taking advantage of that is quite key. Thank you, Rafa, for being such a grumpy old git. Basically, people always fall out with Rafa. Rafa always falls out with people. I was listening to Carragher talking about Rafa long ago, and he was saying he seems to need that when he goes into a club to create a little bit of angst, a little bit of conflict. So we can take advantage of that, obviously.
Yeah, we'll take the questions towards the end for the live chat, but James has got one relevant to the topic, which is, are you worried about Dean's attitude? Are you worried about it, the whole fallout with Rafa, or are you?
Yes, well, I think I mentioned, I can't remember what video, I think I mentioned it when we spoke on one of the videos, one preview or something. Yeah, that's a concern to me, because I just think now, we don't know that he's down tools. Let's just say that. As far as I know, he's actually been dropped from the team, so he's made himself available to play. So we don't know. We don't know what the attitude is. But yes, until it's clarified, it worries me. If he's refused to train or something, then we've got a problem, because then you can't complain if that happens when the player goes to you. And obviously, I know you put your counter argument forward for that. But until we know, I just don't know. But I'm not going to assume he's not trained. I've seen enough of Rafa to be aware that the problem might also be Rafa. So but we just don't know, I guess.
That's why I'm willing to give him the benefit of doubt. I can't remember what video we were doing when we brought it up, and I said to you, he's had other managers. I had to look. This is his fourth manager at Everton, and the first manager he's had an issue with. I don't think the issue is Lucas Dean towards Everton, towards the fans, towards the teammates. I think it's Lucas Dean's got an issue with the manager of Rafa Benitez, and he's not the only person at Everton. There's 30,000 of them at Goodson Park on Saturday that's got an issue with Rafa Benitez at Everton as well. And he has been in training. He was in the squad at the weekend. Rafa chose to play Seamus Coleman left wing back and leave Lucas Dean on the bench. So it's one of those things. And you look at what Chelsea and Tuchel's doing with the Lukaku situation. Lukaku starts tonight for Chelsea against Spurs. Lukaku come out and basically say, don't like it, Chelsea. Don't want to be here. The manager's changed everything up, blah, blah, blah. Right, we'll nip that in the bud. Thank you. Get in here. We'll sort this out. And now you're back in the team. Do your apology visit. It's got sorted. And you can almost sense the difference between a world-class manager and a big club. And Everton is a big club, but not as big as Chelsea. And Rafa's not a world-class manager. And I think you can see the difference between the two of them as well. So Lucas Dean, please. Would love him. We are being linked to him a little bit now. Apparently, he's going to make up his mind as to where he wants to go. And Newcastle is a no-no. He's practically ruled Newcastle out.
Good. I mean, it's good. I don't know why. Maybe I've just got a bee in my bonnet because I did that video once upon a time when they all laid into me. Maybe I just hold a grudge and I'm quite vengeful. But I also think there's also a little bit of the we're struggling enough as it is to get top six. The last thing we need is another club with more oil money coming in, and it's hard enough as it is, isn't it, really? That being said, I don't think they're a threat now. I don't think they're a threat next season. But if they've got as much money as we think they might do, they become a threat 2 or 3 seasons down the line, and I could do without it, really. So apparently was this transfer embargo where all the Premier League had all decided they're not going to do business with Newcastle. They didn't like the fact that the takeover had been ratified. So I'm hoping that's sort of true, really. Feel a bit bad because my nan was a Geordie, and my great uncle's a Geordie, and my actual uncle supports Newcastle. Got a lot of my family from Newcastle, but there you go. It's got to be ruthless, isn't it?
Is your nan still with us?
Unfortunately not, unless no.
Oh, well, then what are you worrying about? She won't know about it. It's fine.
She won't. And she wasn't that bothered about football, to be perfectly honest with you. But she was a proud Geordie. She had the accent. Funny enough, she moved to London in the 1930s. She was a Wren in the war, but she kept her Geordie accent all through her life. And we used to go and get on summer holidays. We used to go up there, get chucked in the sea, like the North Sea up near where you were in Aberdeen, Whitley Bay. We used to get chucked in the North Sea. Oh, go on, get in there, you'll enjoy it. Freezing.
Southerners, that's all I'll say. I agree with your nan on that one. Right, well, just before we went live, our friend Gonzo, our friend Ramesh, did an update on Barbosa. Would you like to know what it is?
I would, please.
So
yes.
Just before, this is fresh, if you like. An hour ago, Ramesh tweeted this out, who was the one that sort of broke the loan move. It was him that put out first that West Ham had approached Flamengo to get Gabriel Barbosa on loan. Gabigol, I'm going to call him Gabigol for the sake of it, because that Gabriel Barbosa is a bit of a tongue twister for me. So Gabigol, this is what I'm going to be referring to him from now on. So he was one that broke it, and he's done an update this evening, and he says, looking unlikely West Ham United will pursue a deal for Gabriel Barbosa. Final decision will have been with David Moyes. Proposal was loan plus 30 million euros option, 2 Premier League clubs plus Zenit expected to make permanent bids. Barbosa wants to move to England.
Okay, yeah, fine. Fine by me. Fine by me, Geo. I was unsure anyway. I didn't look like he fitted our system. Wasn't sure when it happened. And then we have somebody watch our videos. He's called Bertie. Now he lives in Brazil. And on the video today, Bert, did you read it? What Bertie wrote?
He wrote one on my video as well. This is crap. He was politer than that.
Yeah, it's not just he's crap, but he's played in Italy before. It didn't really work out then. He's a bit of a naughty boy as well, funny enough. And also, I mean, Bertie was unsure whether he would fit into our system, which, he was talking about the dynamic of the big three in Brazilian football, which I didn't understand. And it's saying, he's a bit inconsistent and so on. Spoke a lot of things and just said wasn't sure he fitted in West Ham, and there's been some training ground problems and some stuff like that. And I guess he wrote the same thing for you. So I'll take that, mate. Look, if someone lives in Brazil and they're watching Brazilian football all the time, they know a lot more than we do. And just when I'd seen him play, I said it to you when we spoke on the phone the other day, didn't I? I said, Geo, looks like a real poach. I'm not sure he's for us, really. Whereas when I've seen the other ones, like Cabral in particular, I look at him and think, oh, yeah, he'd fit our system. So I'm not surprised and I'm not disappointed.
What we'll say is I'm glad it's the 5th of January and it seems quite final, this, which is, right, we've explored it. It's not happening. Done. We move on. That's what I want to see. I want unofficial clarity, if you like, but also decisiveness. I don't want this dragging your feet thing, which I think we did in the summer with someone in particular, and we're going to have to discuss in a minute as well. But I don't want that. I don't want to be chasing this loan move for 18 months and this 18-month loan thing all January, missing out on potential of the targets, not pursuing them. And come the end of January, it's like, oh, well, we can't agree. They won't loan it to us. Then it's stumping up the money. We've lost out, blah, blah, blah. Good, fine, done, move on. Go to the next target or something. Also, according to Mesh, that Moyes has a final say. That's always reassuring as well, that even though we've since recruited Rob Newman and his band of scouts, that the manager still has the final decision on transfer targets as well, which is quite important. So, interestingly, though, you'd imagine Moyes was approving the loan for us to pursue him in the first place. But Moyes is the one that's saying, "Well, I don't want to spend my transfer kitty on him, though." Which
exactly that. I think that's what you're looking at here. I think the risk, bearing in mind what we now know about him, is worth it for a loan if there's no commitment. If then the board are turning around, which is what you're saying. Okay, Flamengo won't do the loan. Are you okay, David, to spend £30 million of your transfer kitty on this striker? He's probably then said no. Which I think
I'll tell you what my worry is. Moyes' comments a couple of weeks ago. Moyes said, along the lines of, "There's someone I want, but the club won't sell him until the summer."
Yes,
that's still ringing in my head. That makes me wonder if it's a striker, and this is why he was trying to get a loan move for a striker. So sort of like Gabriel will do until the summer, and then in the summer I can go after this person. We don't know what position this player is. No. But I thought what was key was he used the word sell, which would rule out your James Tarkowski in that, because it's not like, oh, he's out of contract, I'll get him then. It's like the club won't sell until summer. Like I said in the other video, I might be doing 2 out of 2, but we know that Jonathan David's leaving Lille in the summer as well, and not until then. So that's interesting. So we'll move there. Right, Jesse Lingard. There's been a lot of transfer speculation regarding Jesse today. Gonzo, some suggesting that he's going to be on his way out of Man United. He's fed up with Ralph, and he could be on his way about £8 to £10 million, if you like, in West Ham, of course, is the club he's been linked to and stuff. What's your current thoughts on the Jesse Lingard thing?
I think Jesse would be a really good player for us. I'm lukewarm to it on a personal level. I've got to say, I've sort of almost heard a nut. You know, I feel a bit like the ugly bird at the bar at the end, a nightclub once everyone's gone home, and someone might say, "Oh, go on, and you'll do." It's a bit like that, really, isn't it? I think on this one. All right, well, we'll try Ollie. We'll see if he's okay. See if any other offers come up. I don't like Ollie so much. Oh, Ralph's coming on. Ralph, I don't like Ralph so much. And right, okay, what is it? Oh, it's 1:50 in the morning, nearly 2 a.m. Oh, West Ham. What about West Ham? They'll do. Quick bunk up. I'll sneak out in the morning, right? And I think. I'm not, but I do think he's a brilliant player. I think he'd be a good player for us, and I think he would. But that's my own personal opinion. I think if we actually put that aside, I think he'd give us a massive boost. Hell of a player, and would really spearhead a real push for European football again. And if he was eligible to play, which I think you are, in Europa League, we'd stand a much better chance of winning that Europa League with Jesse Lingard in the team.
Yeah, I'd love him back at West Ham. The situation, as I understand it, is still the same as the summer, which is Jesse's never ruled out a move to West Ham. I see stuff. It frustrates me a little bit when people say, "Oh, well, he didn't want to come back in the summer, move on, bugger him," kind of. Oh, he didn't do that. He never did it. West Ham just didn't do enough to get Jesse Lingard out of Manchester United, kind of thing. And the same thing's happening again. Jesse Lingard. I mean, you don't even have to believe me. You don't. If I'm telling you something, you don't believe it. What I believe is that he would like to come back to West Ham. There's 1 or 2 things that need to be sorted between both parties and stuff for it to occur. I've seen the report yesterday on the Evening Standard that it might be a loan move, and it sounds a bit silly because his contract's up at the end of the season, but I wouldn't dismiss that. Gonzo will be able to tell you, but it's a bit easy for Gonzo to sit here and say, "Yeah, he did say this." About a month ago, we got told that the deal might be a loan move. And I know it sounds stupid, but just hear me out. The reason is, if Lingard is 8 million, say, which is a transfer fee, West Ham paid 2 million last year to get Jesse Lingard on loan for the remainder of the season. So we still pay 2 million again. If Jesse Lingard was to move on a permanent transfer this window, Man United would owe him a bit of money for a loyalty bonus. And this player has been there for 20 years now. So I don't know how much the loyalty bonus is, but all of a sudden, you see what I'm trying to say, the 2 million plus the loyalty bonus is starting to add up. It won't quite reach 8 million, but it's getting halfway there. So yes, they'll lose out a bit of money, Man United, but it won't be free like what will happen if Jesse doesn't go anywhere in January. He walks out then the summer, Man United don't get any money. They pay him wages to stay at Man U for the remainder of the summer, but at least if they loan him out, they get some money back into the club. They don't have to give him his loyalty bonus because it's a loan move, not a permanent transfer. It's just about West Ham doing enough to get him back in, I guess. And I hope it happens. I really do. And like I said, if you don't believe me, that's fine. But what you can't ignore is that Jesse Lingard has been flirting with West Ham over the last month or something. His social media posts and stuff. And he's very much, if he was Gonzo at the bar, his skirt would have got an inch He would have pulled his skirt up an inch. It's coming up to closing time, an hour to go. The skirt's getting risen a little bit, just flashing a little bit. The knickers making.
Oh, he's flashing the knickers, mate. He's flashing the knickers. Absolutely, sticking the lippy on. Yeah,
So,
all of that. I say it's not an endearing image, actually. To be fair, Jesse Lingard with lipstick on, flashing his knickers.
I better say what you've rolling your skirt up a little bit.
Oh, listen, you know what I do at the weekend's my own business. I'm just saying. Yeah, Jesse. No, look, tremendous player, and I think he'd have a point, Bruce. But there is one other factor in this, which is Man United. And do Man United want to sell to an immediate rival this season? Are we Man United's long-term rivals? Probably not. They probably wish their long-term rivals were Man City. Well, they're not. Man City are a million miles away. Liverpool are half a million miles away, and so are Chelsea. Actually, as much as they probably don't like it, West Ham are Manchester United's immediate rivals at the moment. So they might just think, whatever money, we can't sell to them, because even if Jesse Lingard makes 6 points difference to us, let's say that, right? 6 points. That 6 points is the difference between us finishing above Man United or below them. So I can understand them not sanctioning the deal.
The loan move though rules them out of playing against Man United on 22nd of January as well. So there is that element to the loan thing too. It takes him out of the game. We were to buy him, for example, he can obviously play at Old Trafford in 2.5 weeks' time. We'll wait and see. I think Man United almost have like a big club mentality when it comes to this type of thing, which is I agree with what you're saying. Long term, they don't see us as rivals. Short term, I think they should, but I don't think they do. I think there's almost like an air of arrogance with Man United, which is we're not in the same boat as West Ham. You can have our players, because the exact same thing happened last January. You know, when he came last year, when he arrived at the door, we were 4th in the Premier League. Man United dismissed us. Yes, since then we went on to finish 6th, so on and so forth. It didn't stop them a year ago, so I'm not sure why it would stop them now. And I just think they're a bit too. I mean, the club has been run shambolically at the minute, so I'm not sure why they should stop when it comes to letting Jesse Lingard out in the January transfer window. Why they'd all of a sudden turn into shrewd negotiators or something. I don't think they will. I think he's there to be got at, and I think it's just not a case of will Jesse come back to West Ham. I think the question is, will West Ham do enough to get Jesse Lingard back to West Ham? I think that is the question here. But it's one of them. We'll wait and see. At least Gabriel didn't rumble on. I think the Jesse Lingard one will, until it comes to a conclusion either way, or the window shuts. Some players have come back to West Ham, Gonzo, today. Yeah. It seems like all the youngsters have suddenly come back. Anang back from Stevenage, Conor Coventry back from Peterborough, and Mipo Adebeko back from Huddersfield.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how Anang's done, I must say. Haven't followed
just to interrupt, he started off as the goalkeeper at the start of the season. I thought he was doing all right. They were conceding a lot of goals, so they got a new keeper. He took Anang's place shortly after the manager got sacked. The new manager come in, and Anang's not had a look in since. He's stuck with the new goalkeeper that took his place in the first time.
Oh, well, that's not a bad loan deal then. At least he's had some experience there. Not only of playing, I've been in and around the squad. Obviously, the Coventry one has not worked out for him. But I think that's okay. That's okay. Sometimes these things don't work out. I think his form was quite good at West Ham before he went. Well, it's very good at West Ham before he went. He had a good pre-season. And actually, to have another midfielder in the squad. I think sometimes when he's got a thin bench, if you know what I mean. Sometimes we don't see any midfielders on there, a central midfield. So I think that's not a bad thing for us. That being said, if he brings someone else in, I wouldn't be adverse to getting him out on loan again and somewhere where we know he's going to get some game time, because he's a good player. Coventry is a good player. Odebeko, he's going to need to do something and do it fast, really, I think, because he'll turn out to be one of those comments only where people say, Odebeko he used to be the future, and you never want to be that. He needs to go somewhere, even if it's League Two or whatever. He needs to go somewhere and be the best striker in the division. If he's as talented as we all were told, the best young talent at Manchester United, and then he only left Man United because there was no room into the first team, so he's coming to West Ham. A player of that standard should be out tearing it up and scoring goals at a lower level. So I wasn't impressed when I saw him play for West Ham. So it's now time for him to step up and do something. So he needs to go back out as well, because I'll tell you now, he won't get anywhere near the team.
Obviously, we've got the FA Cup at the weekend. But one thing West Ham need to consider is if they play any of the youngsters, especially these three we've just taken back, if any of them feature against Leeds United on Sunday, they can't go out alone because the rule is you can only feature for two clubs in one season. So if they feature for Peterborough, Stevenage, and Huddersfield, as well as West Ham, they then can't feature for a third club. So they either have to stay here or go back to the club that we've just recalled them from. That would be the only options on the table. So perhaps don't expect to see Conor Coventry and Mipo Adebeko on Sunday. But if we do, that would indicate that David Moyes intends on keeping them around and rather than loaning them back out. I've already explained that and one. The Conor Coventry one, he just didn't suit the way Peterborough played football by the looks of it. I was sort of reading what Peterborough fans were saying, and they were saying good player, just doesn't suit the way we play. We don't play football to complement Conor Coventry. We almost couldn't use him because of the way that we play. And it's just one of those things. And this is I'm going to go back to the Felipe Anderson loan because I'm quite stubborn. I'm insistent I'm correct on the Anderson one. But the Conor Coventry one just gives me more proof, more bullets in my gun. We are poor at loaning players out. How have we not had a look at how Peterborough play football and thought, well, Conor Coventry won't get into that team because that's not how Conor Coventry plays football. Can we not put a little bit of research into the clubs that we are sending players to? We will get some wrong. Of course we will. The Mipo Adebeko one, I'm almost willing to say that's a player thing there because he went in, he had a bit of an injury, came back, didn't get into the team and stuff, but Huddersfield are doing well. They're sitting 6th in the Championship at the minute. Peterborough are down the bottom of the Championship, so they need players. So how have we managed to send Conor Coventry, which Peterborough fans say is a good player, just doesn't get into our team because of the way, how have we managed to do that? And we've just wasted 6 months of the lad's career, if you like, at such a pivotal age. And I still think Felipe Anderson, we got that wrong sending Porto. Had we sent him back to Lazio on loan or something, by the end, summer that's just gone past, but that summer they'd have been begging to buy him. Oh, here, have your money back. Well, we need him now. I think we got the Porto one wrong. Not everybody agreed with me. Fine, but now I've got the Conor Coventry one as further evidence that we're not the best at loaning players out. Like I said, some of them, fine, it's going to happen. But the Conor Coventry one, I'm sorry, I don't. That's poor from West Ham, in my opinion.
But they are different. That and the Porto one are different. You're dealing with, you know what happens at the Pompey one. There's an old pals act there. They're mates. He worked for him. Barry Fry, who I think was the first ever manager that Golden Sullivan ever appointed, and they've remained friends ever since. He's been to games. He's been to West Ham games.
I think he's the only manager they've paid for. I could be wrong. I think there's something there.
I mean, he's a good guy, by the way. He's a good guy, really funny guy, actually. But that's an old pals act, and he's like the director of football there. So, don't put it past. I think what's happened there is he's probably turned around to his two mates and said, "Fellas, we're really desperate for players. Have you got any players?" And they probably turned around to David Moyes, said, "Anyone you want going out on loan?" I think that's what's happened there. The Porto one, I'm not so sure. It was bad. It did work out bad, but bloody hell, Felipe Anderson should have been able to play at Porto. They're a bloody good team. They speak the same language. There's no excuse there. He should have done it. Anyway, there you go.
The other Becker one I'm most disappointed in because of the hype around him, I guess, if you want. And obviously, he was scoring goals for under 23s as well. So he's been doing it at the under 23 level. So I was thinking, go on then, go to Huddersfield and do something. Get 5 goals before Christmas or something. Give Moyes a bit of a dilemma. Come January, maybe we should recall him. Maybe he's better than Yarmolenko to have around, actually. But he's done nothing of the sort, and he's gone backwards in his progress, actually. I agree with you. He needs to get out to a club lower than the Championship, League 1, League 2, whatever. He needs to go somewhere and just start sticking the ball in the back of the net. And I've got hope for him. I've still got hope that we might see him at West Ham. But when was the last time we loaned a youngster out, went away, he came back a better player and went into our first team? I can't even think of one. The two of the youngsters so far that have come into our team in the last few seasons, Ben Johnson, Declan Rice, neither of them went out alone. They just stayed at the club because they were good enough and went into the first team straight away from the 23s. So this loan thing, I don't know. It should be good for players, but there's very little evidence over the last few years at West Ham that they actually work long-term for us. They go out, stay out on loan, then we sell them for a small amount of money, and that's that. Anthony, you'd like to add on there? Are you ready to move on?
I think so, yeah. That's the loans covered, certainly.
We've got some bad news from ex-West Ham employee just before we went live. There's been some COVID cases at West Ham. We're unsure as to whom, but we all knew that Pablo Fornals was one of the COVID cases, and there's been more this week, so they're due to miss the game on Sunday, but names are unknown as yet. Right, ready for question time?
Yes, please. I'm very ready for question time. So I'm just thinking about what you said there with the COVID news. I mean, it's a bit weird. Like, everybody knows someone has got COVID at the moment, but not too many people know someone that's sick with COVID. So hopefully, has the isolation gone down to 5 days or something like that? I mean, it's a bit of a mess, really. I think we've done pretty well. I think we've got away with it by and large. But it is quite interesting. So obviously, we're going to do a preview later on this week for the Leeds game. But it is going to be interesting to see who we put out for that, Geo. That's going to be really interesting. And if it is 5 days, and you may well find that there's some decisions which are easily made for players who weren't going to feature anyway. So could be very, very interesting on that one, on the Leeds game with the COVID thing.
Right, we're going to swing round to the comments we got on social media, on Twitter and on YouTube earlier. We'll do them for about 15 minutes, then we're going to turn to the live chat as well. And any other questions I do get through on social media, myself and Gonzo will do a video for the forum channel with the leftover question, the dregs of cup of tea, if you like. So,
not a mashed potato on the edge of the plate for tomorrow, cold.
Yeah, that thing, the mashed potato, the Gonzo at the bar, the leftovers. West Ham Fan Zone says, hypothetically, if Jonathan David is David Moyes' top striker target, would you rather wait until the summer to get him if he's unavailable now, or would you go for the second/third choice on the target list in this window to help the squad towards the end of the season?
What a great question! What a great question!
If it was a rubbish question, I wouldn't have done it.
That wasn't your question. It wasn't your question, was it? To be fair. I mean, that's a really tough one, but I think you've got to take something into account here. Well, first thing I'd want to know is how far behind are the second or third targets, and are they crap and is the top one just really good? Opportunity knocks, Geo, this season. We're there again. You know, we are in we're in the final stages, almost the quarterfinals of the Europa League. We are knocking on the door of European qualification in the Premier League. No striker, it's going to be difficult. One of our top 2 or 3 targets will improve our standing this season, gets us over the line. And I think that can make the difference. Long term, is it worth missing out on our main target, our long target? I don't know. We may well have to sacrifice European football this season if we keep our powder dry, keep our money. Don't forget, David Moyes did this last year. He said, I've got money. Yeah, the board give me money. I've got 25 million pounds for a striker. I've got it. I'm gonna buy the striker in the summer, and he didn't. So David Moyes now saying, if he were to say now, I've got some money for a striker, it's for the summer. I think, hold on, mate. I've heard this before. I think if I had to make a decision, I'd get the second choice and make a real push to win the Europa League, get the Champions League, and make a push for European football in the Premier League this season.
I think it depends on the cost of the second, third choice striker, not necessarily how far behind Jonathan David in the wish list or the ability rankings or whatever David Moyes wants to call them, but cost. I think this is why we're seeing us linked to Cabral, 15 million, Gabriel loan, the Blackburn striker or whatever he's tipped at, 20 million or something.
30, I think it's 30, mate. 30.
Well, not a chance. But anyway, this is why I think we're being linked with those so that he keeps his powder dry. But I think, a bit like you, last January, we went after Nesri, couldn't get him, and thought, oh, well, we'll wait and we'll go again in the summer. We didn't get him in the summer anyway, so we have to learn from that. I think we need to get someone in now. Like you said, the risks. Last season, the risk was we drop out of the European spaces. We drop out of that. Now, we've got a little bit fortunate because the winners of the Cups had already qualified for European spaces, so 6th and 7th in the Premier League become European spaces. Now, as we speak presently, only 5th in the Premier League gets Europa League. The 2 other spaces still go to the Cup winners. Well, we have to wait and see who they are as to what happens with the league. So at the minute, only top 5 get European football. But we've also got European football as well to play. We've still got the Europa League to play. It's completely different to a year ago. A year ago, we had the Premier League at stake, and that was it. Now we've got the Premier League, but we've also got the Europa League. So even if Antonio stayed fit between now and the end of the season, I think we still need another one regardless. Worst case scenario, we're going to next season with Jonathan David, Michail Antonio, and a other striker. And Antonio, if Antonio was a number 9, a very out-and-out striker, if he was Jamie Vardy, I could understand the reluctance, but he's not. He's naturally a winger. So even if you find yourself in a situation where you've got 2 really good strikers come the summer, Jonathan David, someone else, and you've got Antonio, you can still use Antonio elsewhere in the team going forward. He can go back to right wing, left wing, whatever. I think it gives. I think it would be daft not to get a striker in this window, regardless of Jonathan David. And even if he is his number 1 striker target, it won't only be West Ham going after him because his agents made it clear he's on the move in the summer. Arsenal's linked to him a lot at the minute as well, and I think it would be naive to think that West Ham's only club after him, and in West Ham's only club he's interested in as well. Yeah. So too risky to wait, I think. Woody, Alan says, if you could sign one striker, would it be someone similar to Antonio, so he suits our style of play, or give us something different? Would you like a different type of striker?
Well, it's a good question, Alan, to be honest. I think the other level to that question is, if we get someone different, does he get paired with Antonio when we're chasing games? So you'd want someone to complement him. That being said, we've had a different type of striker from Antonio, and Moyes doesn't play him. So I'd rather not, actually. And not because I don't think it could work. I'm not going to be fussy. I'm really amazed where West Ham are. Really amazed where West Ham are. But if this hadn't happened, right, if the David Moyes thing hadn't happened and we hadn't been in European football and we were just usual old West Ham, whatever we might be, 15th in the league at the moment or something, looking over our shoulder, trying to get to 38 points or whatever the case may be. And you were to say, what would you want for West Ham in the future? I would have loved us to have played 4-4-2 and have a strike partnership up front. But I'm not complaining. We're now in this position. We don't play that way. That's great. We're far better than I ever thought we would be in such a short period of time. With that in mind, what I think doesn't really matter. It's what David Moyes is going to do. And the last thing we need is another player that David Moyes isn't going to look to on the bench and think, I'm going to use him. I'm sorry, I'm not going to use him. That's all we need. So actually, if what David Moyes decides he likes his strikers nice and strong with the ability to drift out wide and a bit of pace, then I think that's what we've got to go for, mate. Otherwise, Moyes Edwards a risk. If he's too much like Haller or too much like Chicharito or too much like a Jetty or whoever it may be, just someone different, Moyes just won't use him.
Yeah, I agree. It's got to be someone similar to Michail Antonio. I think more strikery than Antonio, but has the energetic, athletic levels, pretty strong, that kind of thing. But someone that maybe a bit more experience as a striker in the box kind of thing, but similar attributes to what Antonio brings to the team as well. Because we are set up to play with Antonio up front. And like you say, we take him out and put Alio in, everything falls down a little bit. And I do worry it would be the same again if we brought in a different type of striker. Colin Wire says, if you were stuck on a desert island with a lifetime supply of one type of crisp to eat, which crisp type / flavor / brand would you choose?
Oh. Can I choose a tortilla chip?
If you want.
Oh, thank you. That's very reasonable because I would have said that's not a crisp. No, you can't. They got these jalapeno tortilla chip things. I like Doritos, but much better than Doritos. Oh, they're bloody lovely. They are. They're gorgeous. I quite like the sweet chili crisps, actually. They're called Sensations. I think they're called Sensations. They're very, very nice. I can't say Frazzles because it's not in potato. It's maize made out of corn. But I like a Frazzle.
Mine would be salt and vinegar Pipers. We were in a bar, a really nice bar actually. It was Mrs. Geo's Christmas work do, and the plus ones were all invited and stuff. So I went to the day of the races and we're in this bar after. It's really nice. And I was hungry, standard. So I went and got crisps, £2 a bag or something. Piper salt and vinegar crisps. Oh, they're like kettle chips. I level up kettle chips, but I level up from kettle chips. Kettle chips are bloody nice, but these were just like a nice version of kettle chips.
Pipers, are they in the shape of a pipe?
No, unfortunately not. No, they're just.
I don't know what you're talking about. If they were curled, some curled
bag. They're just in the shape of a crisp bag. Go on Amazon. They're like a 20 pack. It's like 20 quid. So I thought, not getting that.
I mean, are you saying there's not a crisp called that, is there?
I don't know. There might be. Surely not.
Steve.
Google it and see.
I'm not Googling that. Not having that on my search. Not without going incognito first, old chap, I tell you.
It's got to be prawn cocktail flavoured, isn't it?
What?
No, I've Googled it. I'm kind of wishing ever now, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm not having that on
all
Google.
sorts of results.
I'm not having that on my Google search.
I've done it with crisps as well. Nothing's coming up. I think he's just making it up, to be honest with you. But anyway, right. Next question on Twitter. Then we're going to switch to some of the YouTube ones we got earlier from Hammer, which seems a little bit brutal. You've got to buy one, sell one, and kill
Shag one. Oh
no, kill.
Right.
Suchek, Bowen, and Zuma.
He's made all nice players.
Yeah, you buy one, kill one, sell one. Bowen, Zuma, Suchek.
Okay, sell the one that's worth most money.
I think I'd buy Bowen.
I think Suchek worth most money. Possibly,
know, probably.
Okay. No, maybe Bowen now. Maybe Bowen's worth more money. Sell Bowen. Buy Zuma because our defense is crap, and we'd have to kill. I can't believe I'm saying that because you're going to get that. People are going to take it seriously, aren't they? You're going to get the sort of partisan. Right, thank goodness there wasn't another player in that group. Put it this way. Sorry, he's going to have to go. Sorry, potato, Big Sue, potato salad, Big Sue. Sorry.
Yeah, I think I'd kill him as well. I don't know why, because I'd buy Bowen. Because he's just such a nice person. I want him around. I'd be sad without Jared Bowen. I don't want to sell him, and I certainly don't want to kill him. So I'm keeping Jared around. He's staying. Zuma I'll sell. I think he'd command a big fee. And Suchek, I don't think I'd be able to kill Zuma. I think I'd take my gun out. I don't think he would take it off me and kill me. So I don't know. I think with Suchek, I'd probably get the shot away. But with Zuma,
he's a big boy, Suchek. I'm not so sure. Yeah, but you're doing it all close range as well. It's going to have to be a sniper thing for me. Going to have to keep well away from these boys.
I don't have a sniper though.
Well, you don't have one of them, do you?
Are you sure? I might do. I may have one. It's on my search history underneath fanny fingers.
Of course it is. You can never get those fanny fingers to work the trigger, can you? That's the trouble.
Maybe the fanny fingers will kill Suchek.
Yeah, they probably. Anyway, I'm not going to do that joke. There we go. Richard Barlow very kindly has donated 100 Nokias, which is thank you very much, Richard.
And it says, with the West Ham fans prefer a cheap but proven striker, like our Ian Wright or Lars Ferdinand in yesteryear, that would leave us funds for Lingard and the left/slash centre-back.
Oh, look, if we were definitely going to get... Let's go with Jonathan David, because everyone's speaking about it. If we were definitely going to get Jonathan David in the summer, I wouldn't have a problem signing a striker for the remainder of this window. That wouldn't be a problem for me. My biggest problem is us. We've all changed our minds on stuff, right? Let's be fair. It would be us getting to the summer and Jonathan David and his agent saying, yeah, we'll sign, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Us saying to Leo, do you want to pay a deposit? No, don't worry, you don't need to do that. Our word's our bond. Don't worry. And then we get to there and he says, actually, I'm going to Arsenal because they're losing Lacazette. You got to be careful by waiting too long. Sometimes you just got to grab who's available. But I wouldn't mind if we knew for certain we'd get someone. I wouldn't mind a journeyman striker, for the remainder of the season to get someone in. But it'd have to be good. It's not any old crap,
I was going to say it depends on who it is. You'd have to answer that on a case-by-case basis, wouldn't you? Because I'm trying to think of like a really old striker that I sort of wouldn't mind coming in. I can't really think of one off the top of my head. I mean, Jimmy Vardy's one, but you're not going to get him, are you? Edison Cavani, if he was free, for example, let's just say he wasn't at Man United or something, then certainly Edison Cavani still has the pedigree to go and do it. But Cavani's probably older than Troy Deeney. And I wouldn't want Troy Deeney at the club, for example. So you'd have to do it on a case-by-case basis. Mitchell says, under Moyes' tenure, who has impressed you the most and who has disappointed you the most?
Oh, that's a good one. That is a good one. Cresswell has impressed me the most. I think. And listen, you're going to make a case. You can make a case for many, but Cresswell, I thought he was finished. I thought he was washed up. I thought he was on his way out. He's brought him back to such an extent. If at some point over the last season Cresswell would have got an England call up, I wouldn't have been surprised. He's been playing that well. One of the best attacking defenders in the whole Premier League. Absolutely brilliant. Disappointed me the most. It's probably Yarmolenko, actually. It's probably Yarmolenko. And the reason I say that is because Moyes wanted him, apparently. Moyes tried to sign him a while back. I'm not sure whether it was Everton or Man United.
We should say.
Everton, yeah. So that's disappointing. I'm disappointed. And I think Moyes will be disappointed. Probably Yarmolenko's disappointed. We're probably all disappointed. So, yeah, I'll choose those two.
Who impressed me the most, I'll say Antonio. He's turned him into a Premier League striker and one of the best Premier League strikers as well. He had that dry spell before Christmas and stuff, but prior to that, his goal record was unbelievable. He'd become our all-time Premier League goal scorer in history at West Ham United. So that has impressed me the most, probably. The disappointed one, I'm going to say Diop. I just hope that Moyes should have sorted him out. And I always had this, it's a bit of a myth. Some managers, you just have myths. You have your own personal one. It's not a social media myth or anything. It's a geo myth for David Moyes. And that is, David Moyes can make any centre-back good. That's my geo myth. And I expected him to sort Diop out. Diop needed sorting out a little bit of this and get him a Premier League centre-back. And we saw glimpses of it, but not enough. Diop almost needed rescued, if you like. His career needed rescued a little bit. And that's just not happened. It's a bit like Dele Alli at Tottenham. Spurs fans were probably hoping Antonio Conte would go in there. Dele Alli, there you are, sort you out, and I've got an attacking midfielder ready to go. I've saved your career. And I was hoping he would do a bit with Diop, and it's not really worked out. And that's on Diop, not David Moyes, to be clear, before someone says I'm blaming David Moyes. Thank you, Doug, for the $5. Doug says, evening, lads. Hope you both had a good Christmas and New Year. Hope to get his first game before the end of the season.
Let us know when you're going, Doug. Let us know when you're going.
In the live chat now, you guys watching live, get your questions into the live chat. We'll have a little look at what you lot are saying. We'll get interactive with you guys. But before we do, last question from the previous YouTube comments. I don't know. There's quite a lot. The forum video tomorrow will be good, Gonzo. And there's quite a lot anyway to get through. There's one or two ones that are controversial. I'm trying to keep it nice.
Are you going to do this again?
Unless someone asks what I think of Masuaku, then probably not. But if someone does ask about Masuaku, the backhander might come out, kind of thing. Anyway, right. Let's just go to the live chat then. Kent, would you rate Derby?
Don't say that to me. I've been very polite tonight. Anyway, go
on. Would you go to rate Derby for Buchanan and Knight? He would like Adebayo from Luton, also punch striker, Antonio Mode, 6'3", big, strong, quick.
Well, myself and Gio both said this, actually. Both talked about Derby. I did it on the forum channel a little while ago. Gio spoke about it the other day. I'm not comfortable kicking clubs when they're down. I'm just not at all. So
someone's going to do it, though, aren't they?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. But it's like someone walking through a rough part of town and say, "Well, look, someone's going to mug them." Might as well fill your own pockets. Do you know? I'm not
quite like that.
All right, it's not. But no, so look, someone's going to do it. And I said when they do it, can you look after them? Do you know what I mean? What I don't want to do is if the players there is worth 5 million, we're going to go, we'll give you $1 million, and you can count yourselves lucky and polish me boots while you're there. I'm a little bit uncomfortable with it, and only because I would hope if we were in that situation, and my goodness, we've been in some pretty precarious situations ourselves, that other clubs would try and look after us. They probably wouldn't, but that doesn't mean you've got to behave that way yourself. I don't know the fella, Adebayo. don't know him actually.
People keep, I'll say people, it's probably Ken. People have mentioned before, you've spoken about him in a video, Gonzo. You have. You went and YouTubed him because someone told you to look him up, and you did. You did a video about him on the forum channel.
Oh, he's a great. Why didn't you say it? Elijah Adebayo from Luton. Oh, yeah, no, yeah, absolutely, mate, absolutely.
Go on your history. Keep scrolling. It'll be there. Just under Fanny Fingers, it'll be Adebayo, Luton goals, HD, skills and highlights 2020.
It's got me. Hopefully there's like a minute intro with just music where you don't see any goals or anyone kicking the ball, just him sort of high-fiving his teammates. Oh, that's my favourite stuff with some lovely dance music. Oh, I can't get enough of that. I was going to say,
when you click on that, are you hoping for two things? One, some good highlights, and two, a good bit of dance music in the
I love me some grainy footage where you don't see any goals or any kicking of the football, and some dance music. I can't get enough, honestly. Can't get enough of it.
Anyway, I don't know where it is with the questions. Everybody wants to talk about death tonight, as if we've not had enough talk of death on the news for the last 2 years. Everybody seems insistent. Adam says, if Yarmolenko, Diop, and Masuaku were going to fall off a cliff, who would you save? You can only save one.
If Yarmolenko are about to fall, who would you save if you could only save one? I'd save Diop as well. Yarmolenko's already broken, and for some reason, Masuaku had managed to bounce back anyway. I don't know how he manages it. Yeah, you're right. There was a lot of, and funny enough, even this one here, George is talking about dying as well. He said we've just been linked with Bamba dying.
Who's Bamba? I hope he's all right.
Clearly not. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry, well, I've clicked on it now. That's what he said. What's he say? This
one. We got a problem. Says that's David Moyes in the transfer room realising he can't get Gabriel. He said, how many signings do you realistically see us making? 2.
Yeah.
It depends. I mean, if there's loan deals to be had, I think they're like bonus, though. I agree. I can see 2 money ones, but I think there might be 1 or 2. Well, I say one loan deal on top of that as well. I think 3 at the most, but maybe that's just me being optimistic. Dan, does Gonzo want Adama Traore more than Geo doesn't want Adama Traore?
Oh, yes. It's tough. It's close. It's close.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you want him?
8.
Yeah, I'll say 7. I don't want him. He's not crap. I get why some people want him. I just don't get it. I just don't. He came on against Wolves. Came on for Wolves against Man U the other night, and he had a hand in Wolves' win to some extent. But there was one point he just goes. I think it was Varane. He's standing there. He's doing do you know what Cristiano Ronaldo used to do? Where he stands still and does like 6 step overs.
I saw it. I think Andy Walsh actually sent me the clip on WhatsApp. I think it was Andy. Sorry, Andy, if it wasn't you. I think Andy sent me the clip on WhatsApp and said, "Are you sure, mate?" And it was him doing this terrible trick, this terrible fail. They call it a fail these days, don't they? Yeah.
There was another one as well, right at the death. He got it. They were 1-0 up at this point, and he started running down the left, and he just slowed down a little bit. And he thought, well, why are you slowing down? You're bigger and faster than anyone on the pitch. Just keep running. Anyway, he slows down. Then he goes again. All of a sudden, he just runs out for a goal kick. And I'm like, how have you managed to run out of play? You literally won the halfway line. You somehow ran out with it. How have you managed this? And it's just...
Sorry, it was Woody on Twitter. Yeah, sorry. But the only Twitter message I've read this year, it was Alan winding me up.
Well, we'll say about the Derby one, by the way. I can't speak about Buchanan that much. I haven't seen him enough. I feel like I've watched Derby a lot this season. I think every game they're on TV. Every single game they're on TV at the moment. But I'm enjoying watching it, and I'm genuinely rooting for them to give 2 fingers to the EFL with their points deduction and stuff. Knight, every time I watch them, though, Knight impresses me. I would love to see Knight here as Martin Noble's replacement. I think he's got that sort of... He's decent with both feet. He's a right hard worker, can get forward, can get backwards. He's got everything that we need, essentially. He's not world class or anything, but I think he's only 20 years old as well. I would like to see West Ham sign him and loan him back to Derby in January. I'd like to see us go in, pay 4 or 5 million, whatever it is. It's not much. And just give him back to Derby. Can you say you have him for the rest of the season? There you go. Have him. Then in the summer, Martin Noble disappears, we've got the replacement, which is just a squad role. That's all we're looking for Mark Noble's replacement. I know people speak of Connor Coventry, hopefully, but we don't have much to go on at the minute. This Jason Knight for Derby at the minute is pivotal. He's one of the best players, and I like it. They're in a situation where you're really starting to see who's going to stand up and be counted at that football club, and he's one of those players every week just gives 100% run. He's got a bit of Scott Parker about him. When the going gets tough, the tough get going. You know that?
Oh, I love it. I love the way you say it, mate. I love it the other way, like you were going to say it then.
But Knight is one of those players. Tommy says, would you be happy with Insigne or Bellotti?
Bellotti more than Insigne, but I'd still think we can. I'd like someone a bit young. I'd like someone that can grow. Really, I think that's the thing.
Sharky, do you think the club's debt is a big worry? There was another question as well, because obviously I did the video with Kevin yesterday, and the debt hasn't really changed. And so there's been a Sullivan and goal come in. It's not really moved very much. Is that a worry to you? You're right, considering it's still similar.
No, well, it's serviceable debt. That's the point. You know, you're in trouble. Your debt, whether it's a football club or whether it's your credit card bill or whatever. If you can't manage it from your monthly outgoings, and it's insignificant in terms of our yearly revenue, actually the repayments on the debt, which we're not being asked to clear the debt because the debt is owed to the owners. So I wouldn't worry about the debt. Do you know what? I think when Kretinsky takes over, that debt then gets cleared because he basically has to pay Golden Sullivan. I don't think Golden Sullivan are going to be saying, right, give us our money back right now. So no, if you're talking about payments of £4 or £5 million over the course of the year, it's not really an issue, is it?
No, I agree with you. It's manageable. I think it's manageable. I think that's the difference this time. And half of it's owed to the owners, which, yes, they're earning interest on it. It's not ideal, but it's pretty safe owing it to them because they're not going to call it in unexpectedly or anything like that. It's almost like safe debt to some extent, and I'm okay with it. It's not good in terms because when they came in, they said, "Oh yeah, we're going to be debt free and stuff." And then by the time we moved to the stadium and we moved, they said, "Oh, we meant bank debt free," which we are to some extent. We still technically are as well, but it's manageable at the moment. Right, where was that? Have you heard of that Bamba Dieng? Have you heard of him?
No. You'll probably tell me I've done a video on him as well. You've done a video on him on the forum channel. Come on. I don't know.
No, I don't either. Unless it's the one that was on loan at West Brom, but he was spelt with an A rather than an E, I think. I think he was Dieng rather than Dieng. But I don't know if it's the same player. If it has, I'd obviously have seen him. But if not, I've never heard of him otherwise.
No, honestly couldn't tell you. But look, we're going to be linked with everybody, aren't we? So, yeah, I'm not. That just when you said about the Ben Brereton Diaz at Blackburn, they have slapped 30 million on him, and you were right to have that reaction.
Iron says you see 2 signings, but how many do you expect to go?
None. No. Who's going to buy them? Who's going to buy Yarmolenko? Who's going to buy Randolph? Who's going to buy Fredericks? They're going to see out. They're on big contracts as well. They're going to see it out, take their money, aren't they?
James, would you take Phil Jones as a backup centre back?
I would. And by the way, I'm not just saying that because he might have played well the other night. I said it every time I've been linked with him. As I said every single time, do not assume that West Ham are too good for Phil Jones. Phil Jones, people laugh at him because of the funny faces and all the rest of it. But he is a natural defender. Funny enough, we discussed this recently about other players. He enjoys defending.
On loan. I wouldn't mind him on loan, but I wouldn't necessarily want to pay money for him just because of his injury record, and not necessarily because of Phil Jones as a character or his ability, just because of his injury record. So a loan deal, yes, if anything, that's almost the perfect move for January. Yeah. Someone that's low cost, tides us over till the summer until Zuma's back and so on, and just gives us a bit of options. OC sticking with centre backs. OC says, how do you feel about Nat Phillips coming in possibly? Rumours today is that Liverpool rejected a £7 million bid from an unnamed Premier League club. So we don't know who it is. But considering the $7 million, I'm willing to say it might be us. But Nat Phillips, what's your thoughts on him?
Well, Nat Phillips' best 2 games were against us. So I understand why David Moyes might look at him and think, oh, he's really good. He's quite good in the air. I know 7 million isn't a big thing. My thing is, I'm not sure how much he would play. That's the other thing. That's the other thing there, because I do believe that David Moyes is going to bring someone in, another centre back in January. We may well find ourselves with with a glut of centre backs, but then again, maybe Diop gets moved on. I would mind. Look, he needs to do something else in defence. That much is clear. But I don't. Also, David Moyes likes experienced players. He's gone on record as saying he likes players that have played 100-odd games at centre back before, and Nat Phillips just not done that. So I don't know. I don't know.
He's 25 though. He's not young. I wouldn't mind him. I wouldn't mind him for the rumoured fee of 10-15 million. I think it's relatively low cost. It's not a wow factor, if you like, but it's a bit like the Adama Traore thing. Would he improve the squad? Well, yeah, I think he would, but does that make him good value? I'm not too sure. I think it's a fair price for him, and I think we're possibly the upper echelons of where he's suited to. I think this is going to come across as a backhanded compliment. I don't really care. I think he'd be better off suited to a Newcastle or Burnley at the moment rather than West Ham, Aston Villa, or Leicester City or someone like that. I think we're almost too good for him to some extent. But saying that, we do need to cover at the centre-back area. So it's another one of them you could see happening. And then in the summer, he either allows Diop to move on and we get someone else in, or if Ogbona's injury is that bad and we can't keep him on for another year, it's all right. We've got Nat Phillips. So there is that side to it as well. I'd be okay with it. I wouldn't be doing cartwheels. I'll just be all right with it. Lewis says, who out of the other 14 do you think are challenging us for the European places and why?
The other 14, that doesn't include Arsenal and Tottenham, right? Is that right? Have I got that right?
Yeah, it's the Sky Sports top 6. We are part of the other 14.
Leicester. I know they've had a bit of a dip, but it would have to be Leicester. I thought Villa might rally a little bit, but they look like they've had the old manager bounce, and that's gonna fade. I thought he was good the other day when he Buendia, by the way. So they got some good players there. I don't see, like, every time. The trouble is, every time a club starts to do something, they falter a little bit. Wolves would be the next one. I'd be Leicester, then Wolves. Everyone else is too patchy. I mean, it's something you've got to love about West Ham. You know, we have, in terms of consistency over the last 2 years, been really, really good. And I look at those other clubs and I see patchy. You know, I really do. So I'm not too worried about anyone else. Is can we get the no, of course they'd be included in that, wouldn't they? Man United. I was going to suggest they might make a run for 8th or something, but yeah, sorry, they're classed as one of the top ones, aren't they?
Yeah, that you mentioned them. I think Leicester, for obvious reasons, they've been there, done that, got a T-shirt. I think Villa, to be fair, are improving a lot. I know they had that defeat the other night and stuff, but Gerrard's only just got his foot in the door. He's not been there very long at all. They've been linked to some good players in this transfer window as well. The latest being Philip Coutinho. We'll wait and see if that one comes to anything and how well it gets on there. But Gerrard's he's not working with his squad. He's working with Dean Smith's squad completely. He's not been able to bring in any players as yet. So they're looking good. They're much improved. He took over Villa when they were a bit of a mess, actually, and they're looking good now. And Wolves are just steadily going about their business. They're not scoring loads of goals, but they're not conceding any goals either. And they're doing all right. They're creeping up the table bit by bit. They might even be 5th or something in the Premier League as we speak. They're certainly up there. So if they can make a couple of shrewd signings this window, you just never know. And I think that's why moving on to Dama is probably good business for them. It gives their manager 20 million to spend, gets rid of a player who's not really been effective or working for him, gives him 20 million to go play within the transfer. It's a big bit of money, that. So yeah, I think Wolves is one to keep an eye on. Chris is asking if you watched Ted Lasso.
Not yet, but I've just discovered Apple TV or whatever it's called because I watched Invasion. Ted Lasso's on Apple TV, right? Yeah, yes. So I didn't even know there was such a thing. So I watched Invasion, which was interesting. Enjoyed that. But I've just started watching Happy Valley. Wow. So I've got to get through that. It was on iPlayer. It's crazy. If you were to see it and you just see like get the picture of it, whatever, the promotional picture from it.
The trailer.
It just looks like a cop show set in, like sort of, Well, you'd know it because you're sort of up that part of where, in Lancashire, you get like Burnley and Bolton, all those places. They're sort of set, like industrial towns set in valleys, aren't they, basically? So it's set it's either up in Lancashire, up in Yorkshire, somewhere like that. I don't know where it's meant to be based, but it's this sort of Lancastrian Yorkshire industrial town. And it's just basically one copper who's running all of it. Now, it looks like it's going to be mundane as crap. My word, it's really good. A really big crime happens there. And I was up until 1:45 in the morning watching it the other day. My word, it's good. So I did the first series in 2 or 3 days. Very, very good on iPlayer. Happy Valley, really good.
I've watched Ted Lasso. Really, really good. It's very laid back, very enjoyable. Got a little bit of humour. It's football kind of related, not quite Dream Team or anything. It's all right. It's easy watching. I'm watching Stay Close at the moment on Netflix, it's got a lot of twists. Same makers as A Stranger, which I loved.
You said this.
I like it. I like Stay Close. There's just every episode. There's about 6 twists. It's a bit like, what on earth is going on now? But it's enjoyable. James Nesbitt is the lead character as well, which is always good. I like him.
Yeah, he's good. He's good.
So yeah, Stay Close on Netflix. Recommend it. I haven't watched it all yet, but I'm happy to recommend it. Good. Right. Right, one more question, and we'll wrap this up. Otherwise, we'll be here all night. Bloody hell, scrolling down the thing. Can you see any questions? There's lots.
I don't like mini cheddars. So I know you've asked it a couple of times. I don't like mini cheddars.
Adam says, if David Moyes left the job, who would be the better manager, me, you, or Charlie?
Well, I think you'd be the better manager. I'd go and buy the players. I'd say, oh, yeah, I've just seen a player.
You couldn't be the scout. Piss off. There's no way. I'd come in the office to ask who you were going for. You'd be on YouTube. Have a look at this guy. And it's got Ultra Beat playing in the background. Style. Look, Geo, listen to Pretty Green Eyes on the background of this guy from Luton.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Be brilliant.
You'd be on FIFA.
What a team.
Queuing up at Tesco. You'd be queuing up at Tesco at midnight for the latest edition of FIFA, so you can get it back and you can sign all the 18-year-old wonder kids, simulate a season, see how good they are, and be like, oh, he's gone up.
Yeah, why? I'll tell you what, it can only work. I'll tell you what, boys, you better watch out. It's a dream team.
That's what Jordan Miles did, to be fair. Jordan Miles used his numbers. He was definitely on like Football Manager or something to find Thomas Souček.
Why not? I'll tell you what, though. If I'd have found Thomas Souček and I'd have played with Thomas Souček on FIFA, I would have. Who's this? It's like Steamboat Willie. Crikey, who's this? He's like an old tanker. It takes him 10 years to do a 360. I would have said, nah, don't sign him. Slow.
Anyway, anything else you'd like to add before we disappear?
No, not really. It's been nice to do a cup of tea again, Geo. I'll tell you that much. Been nice to do a cup of tea again, and lots of funny people in the chat as always. So yeah, good laugh, mate.
It's been good to have the opportunity to do one because of all the midweek games and stuff. It's difficult with all the fixtures, but yeah, I've enjoyed it. Hopefully, we'll be able to do another one soon. Next week or week after, we'll have our mug of tea, which is over on Patreon. I was meant to promote that halfway through. I completely forgot. So if you don't mind, patreon.com/Hammers Chat, links in the description. If you want to support the channel, lots of stuff coming up there that we haven't. It's not part of the thing. We've got 1 or 2 videos myself and Gonzo are going to be recording over the next couple of weeks, which it's just bonus videos for them kind of thing. Matchday vlogs are back. I'm hoping to go to the Man United game on 22nd. I say hoping. I've booked the trains, never got the tickets in the ballot. Fuming. But I know a couple of people that can give me some tickets, so I should be all right kind of thing. So I'll get to that and get the match day vlog for the patrons done on there. Anyway, we shall leave it there. If you've enjoyed this episode of The Cup of Tea, do drop a like, comment, subscribe if you're new to the channel. We'll be back later on this week with our preview of the FA Cup game as we take on Leeds United on Sunday. And check out the forum channel tomorrow. Links in the description. I assume you already subscribed anyway, where we're going to be doing the questions that we haven't answered that we got given on social media, on Twitter and YouTube earlier today. But thank you very much for joining us, Gonzo. Thank you as always.
See you later. /.